Weekly Money is back. I took off some much needed time to put together both courses and rest and spend some family time. You know, work-life balance is a really, really big deal to me. But I'm back and I'm really, really excited because we have so much to cover in this one episode. And I want to start off by saying a massive happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, the stepdads, the adoptive dads, all of you who are leading the kids to greatness, being examples, you know, loving, protecting, teaching these little ones and showing them what life is about and what to expect and how to navigate through a wild world. Much love to all of you, all of us, because I am included in that circle as well. It's the reason why I truck the way I truck, like I say in the free course. But I don't want to move on without saying happy Father's Day to all the mothers, all the single mothers who are raising children on your own. You're playing both roles. You're playing both teams. And my mom was a single mom, so my heart is huge when it comes to the sacrifice that now I know it takes as a parent of a baby. I can't even imagine doing this on my own. So a much heartfelt happy Father's Day to you all. Now, on the business front, lots to cover. Yes, we're going to get into weekly money as always, but first I want to share a couple things with you guys. First, my email address, hotshotgameplan@gmail.com. I'm putting that email out there for folks that are either just getting on the road or are, you know, several months away from getting on the road. Let me know that you're that close to being on the road. You got your DOT, you got your MC, or you're leased on to somebody, you have your truck, you have your trailer, or you're in the process of getting those things together. Give me a shout at hotshotgameplan@gmail.com so I can help you with connecting with a factoring company if you haven't selected one yet. Help you get connected with the ELD company that I use if you haven't selected one yet, and also to help you get connected with your 30 free days of DAT Loadboard access, which is the Loadboard that I use, that I've been using from day one. Reach out to me on that email. Let me know what you need help with about those 3 items, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through and give you directions and, you know, make connections and whatever you need to get at least those 3 very important things in place before you get on the road, or even if you've just gotten on the road. They're very important. Let me know. I'll be more than happy to help out. Let's put a game plan together for you so you're ready for action. All right, now you're here for the weekly money episode, so I won't go into detail about the leasing on opportunity that I'm making available to people, and I won't go into detail right now about how to get my Ready, Set, Prepare course for free. I'll break all that down, but in the meantime, let's jump into this week's weekly money. Hey everybody, I missed y'all. It's been a while. It's been too long. Got a busy day today, so I grabbed this. This is in Massachusetts, going to Connecticut. I'm picking it up at 8:30 in the morning. Wasn't in a rush to get here, although their earliest loading was 9. They squeezed me in at 8:30, which helps. Even this video is going to be short because I am in a crunch for time today. Not really all day, but just for my next stop. I have a 2.5 hour drive. I need to be there in 2 hours. I'm not going to speed. But I'm picking up an OD load, and once I pick that up, I'm good because the receiver for that opens until 8 o'clock at night. So after my next pickup, I'm going to drop this load off 40 minutes away from my next pickup, and then then I'm going north back into Massachusetts to drop off that OD load and pick up some granite slabs to deliver tomorrow. Busy day. Did really good with time. I had to be here by 11 to pick this bad boy up, and I got here by 11:07. So I am happy with that. By the way, the best part of both of these loads is that I didn't call out for either one. This was a text message I got from a broker saying, hey, are you in the area tomorrow? I said, yep, I can grab it. And this was a broker saying, what are you doing tomorrow? And I always tell her, working for you. So I didn't even have to hit the board for both of these loads. We have 400 and there we go, and 750. Not a bad Tuesday. Didn't even have to work the load board. Gotta love it. That's how you get direct shippers. That's in the Ready, Set, Prepare course. Bonus number 1. Moving right along. This one has found its way home. One more stop and I'm done. That's a whole lot of granite and quartz and whatever. But I'm only taking these. I have 2 A-frames. This is a 2-stop load, which means that I'm going to 2 stops. One A-frame is going to one place and the other one is going to another place. So this is a quick $400. Typically I wouldn't take a 2-stop load for that low amount of money. 2 stops or more than 1 stop, it just requires a little bit more money. Brokers know that, drivers know that. The only reason I grabbed it is because literally I drove 23 minutes from my last drop to pick this up. So, I mean, it was literally around the corner. And the second reason I grabbed it is because the first stop, I get to literally go home from here on my way to the first stop, which is going to be tomorrow, which is perfect. And then the last stop, the second stop of the two, is straight out from the first stop. So it's super convenient. So that's the main reason why I grabbed this, and the $400 doesn't hurt. I'm at $1150 for today. Today's Tuesday. That I'm not counting towards today. That's $400 towards tomorrow. And I like to do $800 to $1,000 a day. So I'm halfway to my Wednesday goal already. That warehouse door to the left of that yellow item, that's where I gotta go in and back into there. So again, it's worth practicing how to back up in empty parking lots on your downtime, because you're gonna need to do it sometimes. Another thing is, if you can see, I put the twist in these straps. You can see the Kindine word, and then it kind of goes away because I twisted it. So I twisted this side because on this side I didn't. You can see this side that are flat. So look at the difference. So on the right hand side, that's how both sides were, and it was like I was driving a life-size guitar down the highway. It's like, whoa. You could hear all the bass inside the truck, and it sounded like my whole trailer was rattling. So really quickly, before I left the yard this morning, I twisted all these on this side. All I had to do was unloosen the other side, turn the buckle, and put a twist in it. But what I'm gonna do is, depending on how much time I have to wait for this guy to move out, I'm just gonna put a twist in the other side too. Even though I'm getting rid of this back A-frame, I'll still have this one for 2 hours, and I don't want to hear one side going boom all the way there. I mean, one side is not as bad as both sides, but this will make them absolutely silent. So I'm gonna get to work on that. This is how you take slabs of granite countertop marble off in a tight spot. All right, so there's tractors, and then there's a Kubota tractor. These bad boys are expensive, and even if it wasn't a Kubota, I still got to take care of it. But I want to show you guys how I secured this, what I paid attention to, and get moving. So first things first, weight distribution. This is about 7,000 pounds. I didn't want to put it all over the axle, so I shared it with the axle and obviously with my rear truck axle by placing it right here on my trailer. So that's pretty much that. As far as the chaining goes, basically it was hard to find a place to chain the rear of this. So what I did was I came on the axle, went around it, and I wanted to make sure not to go over this, because then the pressure of the chain would be going down on this, and I don't want to break anything. So I went around the axle, hooked the chain onto itself right there, looped around the axle, hooked onto itself, and then basically brought the chain this way, and I brought the chain this way around my peg, around my stud here, up right here. So this is the end of the chain right here. You can see that. And then I just bound it from there to there, tightened, and brought obviously that part of the chain close to the end of the chain. So that's how I did that. I did the same thing on this side. I like symmetry, I like things to be even, so that's that. Chaining on the front. And by the way, these are my easy, I forget what they call it, easy binders or something like that. These fold for transport, or when I need to get in a tight spot. Like for example, this is all the way long, I couldn't go past that, but I can do this and tuck it a bit more. I like that. So that's that, and those are in my in the notes to the comments or the description area of this video if you're interested in those. Amazon link is there. So that's that. Secondly, I found I lucked out and got a really good place to chain here. Just went through. The bucket always has to be strapped down, so I did that with 2 edge protectors. That settles that. Doors, always lock them. Make sure the paperwork is inside. I want to show you this. This is one chain. So I came through, around this peg, up here, and it had a tail. The chain had a tail, so I bound onto that, and here it went like that, and then I wrapped the excess chain around that. Again, the bucket, one strap across, edge protector so I don't scratch the paint, carpet pads, moving pads so I don't scratch the paint, very important. And then the last thing is, I learned this from an OG in Pennsylvania when I was moving my first tractor. He said, whenever you're moving a tractor, the turbo is in here. So either put a rag in there or cover it. Now, I covered it, not like crazy covered it, but I would have crazy covered it if it was facing forward. So strategically, I had them mounted in reverse so that when I'm driving, the wind isn't hitting the turbo, and that way the wind is not going down that pipe into the turbo and messing up the turbo. You'll damage it. And then when you get to where you're going, they'll go to use the turbo and it won't function, and now you own a machine. So the way to get around that is mounting it in reverse. That way the wind doesn't go down the turbo all the way down the highway. Good morning. Good morning. It is Thursday. I'm a little behind schedule. I meant to have this off. Man, these freaking gnats. I meant to have this off the trailer Wednesday evening so I would be wide open on Thursday. I had a load booked for Thursday morning. Wasn't paying much, but it was getting me into the Boston area where I could pick up something from New Hampshire, Boston area, Rhode Island even, usually going into Jersey or New York. That plan's out the window because I got delayed in some unexpected traffic. The Corona era seems to be somewhat passing. You know, I'm no infectious disease specialist, but traffic patterns are letting me know that more people are back on the road, more people are back in the offices versus working from home. I know it because I'm seeing the traffic. And also there's, you know, spring and summer construction. So all that's leading up to traffic, which is why I did not make it to my drop off for this yesterday evening. So I do not have a load for Thursday, but the main thing I want to show you guys, I've stopped a few times along the way to tighten my chains and stuff. But as far as these, I'm going to tighten these real quick. But what I really want to show you is, so I put edge protectors, I always say in my videos, to protect my straps from the load. For example, here, this will not cut my strap because I have this edge protector. I was in a bit of a rush when I was doing this and I was a little careless. And this is why you put edge protectors. I've talked to some folks that drive big rigs. I haven't confirmed this yet, but they tell me that if you have more than a 1/4 inch tear in your belt and your strap, DOT can give you a hard time for that. Not sure if that's true or not, but safety wise, it makes sense to me that if you have a rip or a tear into your belt that's more than a 1/4 inch, chances are it's going to continue to rip. That belt this is a brand new belt, a brand new strap. This was not cut at all when I secured this, not at all. So this truly has come from maybe 3 hours drive. So needless to say, I'm going to replace the strap. I have some replacements in my box out. Good thing I'm always checking my belts before I even hit the road in the morning. Look at this. That is not securing much at all. So if that's torn, and on the other side it's torn, and this is as loose as it is, this can pretty much slide anywhere. The only thing securing this tractor down right now are these 2 chains. 2 chains, and that's okay to hold it here, but if that loosens up, the front of this can fall off the trailer, whatever. So this is why you always want to check your load, check your securement. Again, don't quote me, but I'm really certain, I'm just about certain that the DOT manual says, from your state DMV, says check your load, check the securement of your load within the first hour or within the first 50 miles, whichever comes soonest. I'm ready to go. Here we go. Nice and tight. Nothing's jiggling. No jingling, baby. Nothing at all. I was empty by 8 a.m. and home by 9 a.m. and no other worthwhile loads came across the load board, so I went home for some quality time with the kid. I'm getting the boss hog ready for the prom. Getting him ready for the prom. I'm working on 2 picks for tomorrow, and I'll sit on one of them until Monday. So anyway, that's what's going on there. But as far as the rest of my Thursday, I pretty much took it off, posted. But in the meantime, I had to do some much needed cleanup on the boss hog. So I got him all shined up. I'm gonna check the tire pressure on the truck. And more importantly, I am installing this guy. So this is an air filter. I'm about to pop the hood and swap out the one that's there. This one is a reusable one, which instead of buying a new one every time you need a new air filter, you basically hose this one down really well and pop it right back in. This was $65 on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description section below, or just ask me for it in the comments and I'll be more than happy to share it with you. And yeah, 1,000,000 mile guarantee. You change it, or you take it out and wash it every 50,000 miles. It's supposed to give you better horsepower and acceleration. Watched a couple YouTube videos. Guys are saying that it is doing that. So either way, I need one, and I figured this is a one-stop shop rather than having to change it out every time. So I'm gonna pop this in, and yeah, I'll be done with that. I haven't even finished taking this out, but I couldn't go further without you guys seeing this. Okay, so did I go a bit too long without changing this? Yeah. A tad bit. So this was supposed to be done a very long time ago. I just turned 72,000 miles. The cabin itself is dirty. I'm gonna clean that out. The like comparisons. Here's your comparison. It's a lot thinner, a whole lot thinner. I'm assuming that allows more air to come in. I don't know anything about these things, but that's what I'm assuming. Amazon said this fits my truck, my model truck. Put in, it took me literally 5 seconds to lift this. It took me longer to wedge it in this gap between my finger and my wrist than it did for it to pop in. It sits perfectly. There's a little lip underneath here, so this lip of the air filter edge fell right into that track. Fell right in, perfect fit. Put these screws on and I'm done. See you in 50,000 miles.
During my Thursday off, I managed to book an $800 load going from near my house to Maine, 4 hours north. One of my best friends always asks what it's like on the road, so I took him with me. Problem is, we got so caught up with talking that I forgot to record the load.
So this is OD at its finest. 32-foot deck, 30-foot load. It's an inch over on either end, but you can't be mad at the rate though. Not at all. So this was interesting, the tarp. My tarp is 28 feet. This load is 30 feet. I was able to tuck it underneath. This is just at the edges of the trailer. And this flap here, my tarp really ends right here. But this flap is a lumber tarp, it's for a lumber tarp. So that flap is what's giving me the ability to cover this whole entire trailer. So gotta love my lumber tarp. Gave me the length I need to cover this 30-foot load. Not bad. Not a bad $1,000 load.
Now, before I talk about how to lease on with me and how to get my Ready, Set, Prepare course for free, let me give you this week's numbers.
So typically leasing onto a company means that you're operating under their MC, their insurance, and they dispatch for you, and they do all your carrier package with new brokers and all those kinds of things. I don't want to do that because in all reality, I don't want folks that are irresponsible as drivers. They're bad drivers, and then you're messing up my MC number and cranking my insurance through the roof. So what I'm willing to do is a hybrid of dispatching for you and coaching for you. Let me explain. You would have your own truck, you would have your own trailer, you would have your own supplies, your own equipment. You would go out and get your own MC number, and you would also go out and get your own insurance. Now, what I would do is I would provide you full access coaching by text, by phone, by FaceTime. You're strapping the load, you need help, shoot me a text or call me, or hit me up on FaceTime and I will be able to walk you through it. Dispatching, you wouldn't have to find any of your own loads. I would find all your loads for you, and I would do all of your carrier packets for you. So you're not pulling over on the side of the road trying to figure out, what packets I need, what paperwork I need to send to a broker to be able to, officially get this load. I would deal with all that. So essentially, your job is to secure your loads properly, drive safely, and I do everything else. Typically, when you lease onto a company, they charge you between 25 and 35% of whatever you make. So for example, for everything I mentioned that I would do for you, and for them, you being under their insurance, even though you have to pay the difference between what their insurance was when you got there and now that you're there, if it's $800, $1,000, that would be your insurance payment. That's how that works when you lease onto somebody. And also, you're operating under their MC. They're taking the risk if you're a bad driver, what have you. They're their MC number could go down the toilet. So they're taking a lot of risk. But as far as the fees go, typically if you have a $5,000 week and they're charging you 25%, you're paying them $1,250 from whatever you made that week, from the $5,000 you made that week. If they're charging you, up to 35% of what you made, that you're paying them $1,750 that week out of the $5,000 you made. So because I'm not allowing anybody to run under my MC and my insurance, because I hold those really, really precious, my flat fee, I don't think many people, if anybody, does a flat fee these days. But my dispatching and coaching flat fee would be $1,000 a week. Whether I'm able to book $5,000 in loads for you or $10,000 in loads for you, whatever you make, or even if it's $2,000 in loads for you for whatever reason, whatever you make that week, my fee is flat. Typically, most folks make between $4,000 to $5,000 a week. Also depends on how often you're on the road, but we can talk about that in detail. Payment would be on a weekly basis. I would book loads for you from Monday to Friday, and you then pay me through Cash App or through the factoring company that I use before Sunday noontime. And at that point, we would continue our same deal, Monday morning. However, if you did not pay at the end of the week, over Saturday and up to Sunday noontime, then you'd kind of be on your own. You'd be dispatching on your own. You'd be coaching yourself, and everything that I offered, you wouldn't be able to depend on me for, because I would stop simply because you didn't honor our agreement and decided not to pay for the prior week services. Again, my fee would be $1,000 flat at the end of each week. And if you're interested in this, if this sounds like something you want to do, I'm looking for 5 solid people that want this. I'm not trying to sell this to anybody. If this is something you want, just let me know. hotshotgameplan@gmail.com. Say, look, I'm really looking forward to having you be my dispatcher. You fill out my carrier packets. You coach me along through, phone, text, and FaceTime. I'm looking for that. I'm willing to pay $1,000 a week for that service so I don't have to do it, especially starting out. That's great. Shoot me the email, let me know, and then I'll email you back and ask you several things. Some other things you can include in that email are, let me know what kind of truck and trailer you have or what you're looking to get. Let me know what experience you may or may not have, so I know, walking into this, how I'm going to dispatch you, how I'm going to cater to you and serve you. Also, let me know what you have saved aside, how much money you have put aside for supplies, because I know what it's going to take, and I'd like to know if you have enough to make it work, or what we can make work as far as you buying equipment with the budget you have. Also, let me know when you're ready to hit the road and how often you're willing to be out on the road. Do you have to be home every night? Are you willing to be home every few days? Are you willing to be home only on the weekends? I need to know that going in so I know how I can serve you best and help you make the most money. So that's everything. hotshotgameplan@gmail.com. If that's something you're interested in, give me a shout. If nobody's interested, that's fine. We'll continue the program as it goes. I'll put out weekly money. I'll, hit the road myself and keep it moving. No harm, no foul. But I wanted to put this out because I've been getting a lot of requests, and I figured, let's test the waters, see how serious people are, see how many people are serious, and then I'll decide if I offer this and back off the road a bit, which is why the fee is what it is, because I would have to back off the road to be able to be home on the computer, dispatching for you, guiding you, answering your phone calls when you call. So anyway, that's that. Hit me up on the email if you're interested.
And lastly, if you have your DOT number and MC number and sign up with my factoring company for factoring services, I'll send you my Ready, Set, Prepare course for free. If you're wondering why, my factoring company provides me a commission every time you factor a load with them. Your fees don't increase any, but that's their way of compensating me for connecting you to them. So essentially, I'm getting paid for the course regardless, but I give it to you for free for choosing them as your factoring company. Also, if you've already purchased the Ready, Set, Prepare course, I'll fully refund you the $147 value of that course when you sign up for factoring services.